Hello and welcome to the video on your inner child. Are you aware of your inner child?
So we all have an inner child inside of us, whether we realize it or not. And this video is going to lead you to being aware of it and embracing it.
Our inner child can lash out, take control over our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and make decisions that aren't aligned with our goals. Have you ever felt this? Even if you haven't acted, have you ever felt it on the inside with your thoughts and emotions? Have you ever seen another child or adult act from their inner child? Well, whether you're trying to find a relationship, improve a relationship, better manage a mental, emotional, or physical disorder, manifest something in your life, or simply be more mindful and spiritually aligned, becoming aware of your inner child and the inner child in others will help you stay aligned with your most important goals. Have you ever shut down, maybe walked to the other room in the relationship in the middle of an argument, said something you later regretted, felt disempowered and helpless, like you couldn't change what was going on, felt overwhelmed by a situation, like it was going to get the best of you, felt lonely or lost in life, wanted to yell, wanted to run away, wanted to leave, wanted to hide, wanted to fight?
So who hasn't, right? Everyone has done that, and everyone continues to do that until they become aware of what is creating this dynamic. No matter what your goal might be, thoughts and emotions like this are unpleasant and get in the way. Becoming aware of your inner child will allow you to start healing it part by part and help you make sense of different thoughts and feelings you may not have understood in the past. It will also help you reduce any tendency to self-sabotage. It will help you forgive yourself for anything you may feel guilty or ashamed about, and forgive others too, so that you can accelerate towards your goals in a lightweight fashion. Sometimes you can really feel the inner child. For instance, you're having an argument with someone and for instance, with your partner, and they say something that you perceive as really hurtful to you, and you start crying. And you feel just so powerless and vulnerable that you're just in tears. Or sometimes you're in the midst of an argument with your spouse, and they say something to you that feels really unfair and threatening to the relationship, and you just say, I hate you, I want to leave you, right? So you can feel that. Other times you can't feel it at all. And all the while, it's still there. It's still affecting the words that you use. It's still affecting your decision-making process. It's still affecting the things that you do and that you continue to choose to do in your life. So it's important to be aware of that. And oftentimes in our relationships, like I described earlier on, the inner child is active. It's reacting to little things, right? And big things, and trying through that process, that reactive process, to feel safe, right? In situations that it perceives as dangerous, when really they are not dangerous.
The reason it does this is because the inner child holds on to pain and trauma from the past and fears this pain and trauma repeating. It constantly waits for the shoe to drop in regards to the pain and trauma from the past. In a petty argument, it can see divorce. In a text message, it can see an affair. In a fender bender, it can see broken bones and unmanageable costs. All that's going on here is that the inner child is perceiving these events through the lens of past pain and trauma. And so then it's exaggerating what's going on and then reacting to that exaggeration. Not what's actually going on, it's exaggeration of what's going on.
And it can be left unknown to you, because all of these projections, those fear projections, are actually happening at the level of your subconscious mind. So you're not even aware of it, you're just reacting, right? And you're projecting. So these projections are going to continuously influence you until you become aware of what is happening, into reacting as if they were real, as if it was really happening. For instance, when we react in panic to spill milk, like as if it was the end of the world, as if just spilling milk could lead to your abandonment or to you running out of money.
This is normal. Everyone has reacted to spilled milk at least once. And that's an understatement. We react to spilled milk all day long, metaphorically speaking. And we can be triggered in an inner child part while going for a walk, working, talking on the phone, or driving. And in a way, throughout a given day, most human beings are usually triggered in this way many times throughout the day. And this often leads to an underlying feeling of stress or anxiety. Well, believe it or not, this painful stress or anxiety is a sign. And it's a sign that you're likely operating from an inner child part. The anxiety and stress and the negative emotions we feel, like depression or sadness or worry or concern all of those are typically just the final ripple effects of an original subconscious fear projection that we're not even aware of, that an inner child part was engaging in. So we just might feel angry, depressed, upset, unable to sleep. We might feel intrusive thoughts. A lot of this pain can be transcended when we get in touch with these different inner child parts.
So in the context of your relationship and your relationships, you're going to find that this inner child is coming up quite often, right? Whether it's in you or in your spouse. And you'll be aware that it's the inner child that's coming up because it will be saying hurtful things, that disempowered things, angry things, sad things, the things that are not supportive of your relationship goals, the things that are not in alignment with your intentions in your relationship and in your life. When we react to our partner's inner child with our own inner child, right, we do so because the way that our partner's inner child is saying things or acting makes us feel unsafe. All of that said, it's important to understand that it's totally okay and safe for you not to react to your spouse's inner child with your inner child, and that it's actually even better.
When you recognize your partner's inner child coming up, it's actually better to let the things they say or do go. To let them go, to not see it as reality, to not panic as a result of it, and take drastic safety measures or use rash words in response. That means that they will say hurtful things, or they may say hurtful things. They might say things like, I don't love you anymore, I don't think this relationship can work. That's their inner child. That is not all parts of them. That is not something that they're entirely conscious of and understanding, usually. And so it's okay for them to have those feelings in some part of themselves. It's okay that they said it, and no, it doesn't mean that you're unsafe in the relationship. The inner child in them doesn't represent the entirety of them. It's just a part of them, and it's a part of them that gets triggered every so often, right? Not all the time. So it's not even most of them. Things they say from their inner child do not represent how all parts of them feel. And most of the time, the things they do and say, they themselves don't understand. Reacting to those things that they say, that they don't understand, that they do when they're triggered and in fear is not going to help them understand their inner child. And it's not going to help you understand your inner child or theirs.
So in the process of understanding the inner child, it's so important to really apply complete forgiveness all the time whenever your child parts come up. Without that forgiveness, your inner child cannot grow and learn, right? So a lot of us, unfortunately, don't even acknowledge that this inner child exists, right? And without that acknowledgement and the recognition that there is an inner child in each and every one of us, we can grow and learn, and we can forgive it, obviously, if we don't know that it's there. And without that growth and that learning, there's a sense of being stuck, right? We keep reacting to things negatively and we don't want to, and we don't know why we react to them. And we never really get to uncover why, right? So when we're unaware of our inner child, we're at the whim of its fears, we're at the whim of its reactions, we're at the whim of its projections, both in ourselves and in others.
We worked with a client who had a lot of difficulty handling conflict. In her relationships, she would put her needs last and try to please everybody. In negotiations, she wouldn't stand up for what she felt she deserved. The inner child in her was afraid of conflict. and projecting that conflict would lead to her getting emotionally and physically hurt. In a world where negotiation and group decision making is very common, this inner child part made it very difficult for her to navigate relationships with other people, including friends, family, and coworkers. When she became aware of the projections and fears in her inner child, she was able to start releasing those fears and acting outside of its influence, beyond its influence. Her self-esteem improved dramatically, and she found that she gained respect from her family, coworkers, and friends. She also became much more comfortable and successful in situations where negotiation and group decision-making were necessary.
Here's another success story which on the surface might seem like it's the opposite of the previous one, and yet it's actually very similar. We worked with a father and a husband who would get angry very often. While he never hit anyone, he would sometimes throw things or punch the wall in frustration. Over time, we helped him become aware that his anger was actually coming from a child part of him that felt afraid, vulnerable, and out of control. When he courageously realized this, he was able to transcend his physical reactions to his anger. This really improved his relationship with his wife and children. It also allowed him to set a new example for his children so that they wouldn't grow up to copy his old anger management approach. In addition to helping him stop react violently, we also empowered him with new tools and understandings to release the root cause of his anger.
When you acknowledge, recognize, become aware of, forgive, and understand the inner child, you gain the capacity to educate it and no longer be at the whim of its influence.
So what does that mean concretely? It means that you no longer feel vulnerable. You no longer are powerless. You no longer are in panic mode. It means that you're no longer projecting situations that are unmanageable or that you can't navigate yourself out of. It means that you never have to feel unloved or unsafe again.
It also means starting to feel empowered to achieve your intentions, being able to navigate rough waters with your experience and expertise without being influenced by this inner child, and being able to manage emotions while being conscious of them in a way that supports your goals. It means